All right, hello YouTube. I am recording for my Facebook manifestation group as well. So I just wanted to get a video up for you guys as well too. So hopefully you will go on over to Facebook and check it out. I do have a challenge that goes on every 4 weeks. I'm helping you, I go live, help you manifest whatever it is you're trying to manifest into your life. And I'm trying to explain the concepts the best I can, okay? So I want to talk about understanding what manifesting is. We've been manifesting our entire lives, okay? And now that we're being hit with how to manifest your SP and we're seeing all this information flow to us, we're starting to question and we're making this more difficult than it has to be. Okay, we've been manifesting our entire life. Everything that comes to us is a manifestation. And so I want you to think about throughout your life, before you even came to YouTube and found the videos and found, coaches and things like that. Remember those times when you just knew something was going to happen, whether it was good or bad, and it always happened, and you were just like, I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Or like, even if you were in a bad mindset and you're just like, even if it was negative, you were just like, I know this isn't going to work out. I know this isn't going to work out, right? It never worked out, did it? Once in a while, it did, right? It did. But you may have had a dominant thought that was this faith that, oh, I want this to happen, so it happens, right? But you were in charge the entire time with everything that was going on in your life. You were in charge. You just were unaware that you were consciously creating. But remember that feeling of just knowing. Just sit with that for a second. Like you just knew something was happening. You had a gut feeling. You just knew, or you just were so calm because you knew everything was going to work out. You would tell other people, don't worry about this. It's going to work out. That is the same concept that Neville Goddard is trying to teach in my perception of it, all right, is the knowing. That is the knowing that this is done. That is the knowing. So when we're all saying, just, you've planted the seed, you've manifested this, you visualized it, you affirmed it, you thought about it. Your thoughts are the beginning of the whole entire process. You've thought about what it is you want. It is done. You have to have the same, it is done, I know it's going to happen, the same way you always naturally did in the past. The only difference now is we are consciously creating and we are choosing to not create the negative things that happened in our life. We're trying to manifest only the good stuff that we want, okay? So we're trying to get out of that old habit of letting negative thoughts spiral out of control and take over, and self-doubt and all these limited beliefs. That's all we're trying to do, is just consciously create what it is we want. We're not doing anything magical, anything different. I mean, I look at everything as being magical. That's just my personality. But we're doing what's natural for us. You're in charge here. So there really is no messing this up. It's just all about you staying persistent and just realizing that you're just choosing to focus on the good things that you want. And you have to just have that confidence that you know it's done. All right, you're making it harder. I think because all this information is flowing at you and you're starting to understand that you can actually do it, that it seems like it's something that, a skill you have to attain and it's unattainable. But you have this skill. The part that you have to, that is the resistance, that's the part that's the difficult part, and that's just your old thoughts holding you back. It's your ego, it's your negative, limited beliefs that are holding you back, okay? That's what I want you to understand about manifesting. I want you to make this an easier process. Just knowing that this is done. I said, I planted the seed, this is what I want, and now it is done. I can relax, I can focus on something else in my life, okay? Without worrying that this is not going to come, because I've planted the seed, I affirm it, I script it, I've visualized it, I've done all that I know that I have it, and now I'm not going to second guess it. I'm going to have complete faith and it will show up for me. So what happens here is you start to look for it in your 3D reality. All right, now you're going, okay, I'm doing all this, I'm doing all this. Well, in the past, before you knew about anything about manifesting, you didn't do that. All right, you didn't do that. When you had a thought, you just let it go, and then you went with it. Even if you wanted something, you know, you might have thought about it a little bit, but I want this, I'm gonna get it, I'm gonna get it, I'm gonna get it, and you still went on about your day. Okay, you know, but then the negative things you ruminated on, and you ruminated on, so that's what's it caused a lot of things to show up in your life that you didn't want. All right, but now we're choosing to not react to the 3D reality and not spiral out of control and go in that direction. I think I just totally lost I just totally lost my concept there. We were talking about regardless how the 3D seems. All right, so that was what I just wanted you to understand, basically, was the idea of manifesting, knowing it's done, and that now we're just going to learn how to ignore the 3D so that we do not spiral out of control. All right, because I've been seeing a lot of this in my manifestation group where people are, you know, posting and saying, you know, I'm spiraling. I don't know what to do with myself. I'm feeling bad. I don't see my SP. They're not showing up for me, and this and that and this and that, because you're wanting it all of a sudden. And that was the point that I was losing in the past. All right, we didn't do that in the past. You didn't just sit there and watch your 3D reality in the past and with anticipation, like, when's it coming, like Christmas Day. You didn't do that. You still went on about your day. Okay, that's where I was going with that whole tangent there. All right, so what we need to do now is just to really focus in on how to ignore that 3D reality and how to persist when you start to spiral out of control. All right, and that's what I really want you guys to understand from today. And I'm going to kind of tell you guys some of the ways that I, when I do spiral, the ways that I try to help myself get out of this spiraling situation. So, all right, what else did I have? I wanted to note that I need you guys to, this is something that's important that I've been really focusing on a lot lately, is that we create our own suffering through attachments and through expectations as well. And that kind of goes with everything I was just saying. Because now as you're learning how to manifest, what's happening is you may be becoming more attached to your SP than you were even before. Because now you're trying to manifest your SP, and now you're actually putting more focus on your SP, and your all this energy is going on your SP, okay? And you're creating a stronger attachment to them. And then you're creating this expectation now. So you're blowing this up. You're blowing this kind of out of proportion a little bit. And really what I want you to do is to focus on you more, because that's how you're going to bring your SP in. But it seems like in the beginning stages with manifesting an SP, we tend to focus more on the SP. And then when we're not seeing what we want, because we start looking in the reality more, and we have these expectations, all of a sudden what happens when you don't get what you want, right? Because you're putting all your power on this, all your focus, wherever your thoughts and focus goes, the energy flows, right? That's where this is, you know, your power is being taken away from you. And so when this person doesn't show up for you, you spiral out of control, you have negative emotions come up, you cry, you're sad, you're even more sad than you were before, because you put so much more energy. Now you're trying to put so much more energy on this. I'm going to manifest this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And you're honing in, and you're doing all this stuff, and you're on this high, right? You're doing your affirmations. You're persistent. You know, you're visualizing. You're listening to your meditations. You're doing whatever you have to do, right? So you're in this great place. You're like, I know I've got this. I know I've got this. And then 2 days go by, 3 days go by. You don't get a text, and then boom, you fall even further. And you land rock bottom, and you go into this depression, okay? And it's all your mindset. It's you putting your focus way too much on your SP and not putting it on yourself, and you're attaching yourself now to the expectation. And if you're not getting what you want, you're going to fall. So the idea here is to stay in the moment and only focus on you, and continue to focus on you and what it is you want, right? And don't focus on the SP as much anymore. You're trying to change your self-concept, and we've talked about this a lot in the manifestation group, because really what this is about is you. It seems in the beginning that it's about your SP, but it's about you. It's about you changing how people show up for you. It's about you changing your assumptions of the situation. You know, so when you fall like that, when I see the people in my group falling like that, it's telling me that you're putting way too much focus and expectation, and you have this really, really strong attachment that's being created even more so because of the manifesting. And this is where, you know, take a step back. Take a step back. And that's where, you know, every moment's a new moment. You can't beat yourself up for these moments that happen like this. You just have to keep persistent. Keep persistent. Okay, so maybe I was putting too much energy there. Now I know I have to do this, and I'm going to keep on going. So here's the thing. You're never going backwards. You've already started the process. You're never going backwards in this manifestation process. You're always moving forward because you're trying to change your mindset. So you can't unknow what you already know. You can't undo what's already been done. All right? You have, I mean, you couldn't, we can go on like down a rabbit hole with that one, but you know what I'm saying, right? So now it's just picking up the pieces and moving forward. All right? Time's an illusion. Right? So you can even go, I have a habit of just going, that didn't happen. Boom. Next moment. Go. Okay? And continue. Persist. Now you're going to start focusing more on you. You're not going to focus on what it is you did wrong or what it is you thought you were doing wrong or that you can't do this wrong. You're always moving in the right direction as long as you're working on trying to learn self-concept and changing your mindset and focusing on what it is you want. So, that's a real big one that was coming up. And let me see. Don't take no for an answer is one of the biggest things I need you guys to understand too. So when you do have this kind of crash and burn, right? When things get out of hand, spiral out of control, so many things are coming at you at once, right? Stop in the moment and just be like, everything is working. Everything is always working. Have that one affirmation to go to. Have that. It is done. It is working. Even if you're crying, even if you're being pulled in all different directions, even if it's just, you just can't ground yourself. It is done. It is working. 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 I don't care how many times you have to say it until it is done. It is working. All right. Fight those thoughts off. And even if it seems like it's been a couple days and you're still doing it, just keep doing it. Keep doing it. Keep affirming at least those two things. Know that it's happening. You can't do anything wrong. Okay? So, here's what I do. Okay, I wrote a couple things down so I can, because I knew I was going to go on a long tangent here, and I have to stay focused. All right? So, I process whatever happens to me. Okay, I process it. And what do I mean by that? I sit with it, all right? And I can be the victim too. You know, this isn't working. blah, blah, blah. I'm teaching this and look at this. I can't even figure that, no, all right? I have my days. And what I do is I process it and I sit with it. And sometimes I give myself a good cry. Sometimes, I just feel really bad. I just get it out. I get it out. I'm like, all right, you want to feel bad for yourself? Feel bad for yourself. Do it, right? And then I let it go. I do it and let it go. All right. I'll do some sort of ceremony. I'm that kind of person. So, I've been telling you guys, I take showers. I cry in the shower. I let it wash down the drain. You can take an Epsom salt, Himalayan salt bath. You can let the toxins, those energies, everything. We can get all woo-woo and stuff like that on. I can. But so that's what I do, and it tells me, okay, I'm having a fresh start. Okay, I'm having a fresh start. And then I do my every moment is a new moment, is my affirmation. Every moment is a new moment. I am convinced at this point that I can just say that. And this means that everything that just happened is now gone. I don't even have to revise it. Revising is a very good technique. All right. But I don't have to revise because I do that. It's a visual for me. Done. New moment. It's almost like that never happened. It never happened, and I move forward. And when I do that, I cut the cords, cut the attachments, and let it go. And I do not beat myself up for falling, and I do not feel as though I've messed anything up. You can't mess anything up. You're growing. You're growing. Okay? You're always evolving. always evolving. All right, so don't beat yourself up over stuff like that. So that's what I do. And what I also do is I'll go right back to scripting. All right, if I've noticed that I've gotten lax on scripting, or I think I can just look at my book and go, oh, I know what they are, I go back to strict scripting. I rewrite my 1 to 5 things. I have many, all right, but I'll do my 5 most important, and I'll rewrite them, and I'll think about them and write them as if I already have them. Okay, thank you. I always say thank you, God. Thank you, God. I'm so happy. Blah 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 blah. I can now do this. That's what I do, and I rewrite them. Okay, when you script, when you write, it has to come true. It has to come true. It's like, I'm serious. I'm going back to that magical pen and paper. Okay, scripting. When you write something down, it comes true. It just does. The reasoning behind this is that your subconscious has no clue what the heck is going on out here. Has no clue. None. Your subconscious only knows what you tell it. So when we're writing, it connects to our brain, and we're thinking thoughts as we're writing. So as we're thinking thoughts as we're writing, it's being impressed in our subconscious, and our subconscious thinks it's real. Your subconscious knows no difference between what is in front of your face. You can close your eyes and you can tell your subconscious that you're in Hawaii and you're in Canada somewhere in a blizzard. Okay? Your subconscious has no idea. So when you're writing, even when you're down and out and you're crying and you think nothing's working, but you're writing, I've read somewhere that using those negative emotions too towards this can help manifest as well, because you have a powerful emotion going on and you're writing. So that could be the momentum. Okay, so don't get mad at yourself for being in a negative place. Just write. I have already what I have. Just keep writing. All right? And then have your go-to affirmations. Affirm. Affirm. If you keep affirming, what happens? Take a minute. What happens when you keep telling yourself you don't have something, you don't have something, I don't have something? It starts to make you feel bad, right? Starts to make you feel bad. I don't have it. My SP is not texting me. I don't get this. I don't have this. Blah, blah, blah. I'm broke. Blah. All of a sudden, you start feeling really, really down. Same thing happens when you start affirming, I am rich. I am happy. I'm in love. I'm blissfully married. I have everything I want. The universe always works out for me. Your thoughts start to lift you up automatically. I've tested this. I am happy, I am happy, I am happy. I was just like dropping at one point a while back. I am happy, I am so happy. I'm in the sun, I'm in Florida, everything's beautiful. And without even noticing, like probably about maybe 30, 40 minutes later, I remember just listening to music, and I was like, damn, my whole mood changed. And I was diving deep. Your words are that powerful, your thoughts are that powerful. So go back to scripting, affirming, persisting. Do not take no for an answer, because you already know it is done. It is always working for you. Process is always working for you. All right? Your universe, your God, you are God, you are the universe, okay? Your higher self knows exactly what it is you want. And this just brought me into a new thought too, because I was struggling with this one too with an SP. Your higher self knows exactly what you've been asking for. Your higher self has a collection of thoughts that you've built over the years. You've built when you were sad. You've created the love of your life. You have all the things that your higher self knows that you want. So sometimes the resistance that's showing up in your life due to an SP, even if you're doing all these tactics, affirming, and this has happened to me, affirming, strict, getting the text, getting what I want, but my higher self would create a wall. My higher self kept going, no, you know this isn't what you want. You're so stuck on thinking that this person is going to fill this void or make you happy. that you are not seeing what you truly want. And this is where God, the universe, you, yourself, your higher self is coming in and saying, like that, just like an axe. Right when you think you have to, every time it comes in, you have a thought somewhere, that this dominant thought, and it's not always, in my experience, it's not always that you have a negative self-doubt. It's not always an insecurity. This is where you have to trust your intuition. I kept trying to fight my higher self at one point, and it's your higher self that's going, no, no. And it's your higher self's gonna keep doing that to you until you come back and you work on self-concept and you work on self-love. Because when you start working on that, either your person will show up for you just the way your higher self wants them to, or you'll find somebody new. So you don't have to worry about whether or not you're focused on your SP, or what if I choose not to focus on my SP? What if I just choose to focus on love? You're going to get either or. Your higher self's not going to let anything come in unless it comes in the way you want it to. And what happens is when it comes back and you're not happy, it's because you're going against, you're not truly listening. I believe that, and I've experienced that, okay? Because you can settle. You can get your SP back and settle, but you're going to go through another cycle, just like the way I talk when I'm talking in my tarot reads. You're going to go through another cycle because you're not truly listening to your higher self. Your ego is getting what it wants, and you are blocking off your higher self as soon as you get what you want. But you have not set it in stone, and you're not truly getting what it is you 100% want, your higher self wants, okay? That might not be for everybody, but I just found that I ran into that. Because I was so, at one point, I wanted to test everything before I was even gonna teach it or try to, explain this to anybody. I went down that rabbit hole in an SP, and I did everything, and I got everything I wanted, and every time. But I was the one that always sabotaged it because it wasn't what I truly wanted. Partly because I knew I was doing it to test the process, and two, because they never showed up for me the way I wanted them to in the first place. And then my higher self knew that that's not what I was looking for. And this doesn't mean that this person couldn't come back around in like a year from now or so and be that version, but they are going to show up for me the version that I want. And because I'm in a place of knowing that all about self-love and self-concept and self-respect, that I won't settle for anything less. Okay? But that's the choice I made. Do you see how I made that choice? My SP came in, I make the choice. I push them away with thoughts. I push them away with whatever I decide to do. You can never not bring your SP back. Just remember that. You are the conscious creator here. You can consciously create. I was just doing it. I was testing the process constantly in all different areas of my life. And so that was something that I realized, okay? And I really wanted to share that with you guys. So let me see if I didn't miss anything. All right. One of the biggest things that I remind myself too, I need a drink of water. My voice is getting dry. Sorry, I go on and on and on. All right, so not only do I, when I'm like down in the dumps, do I constantly just go, it is working. I have a big whiteboard that says it is working on the top of it, okay? It is done, it is working. The universe is always working for me. Those are the ones I always go to, okay? And that's part of the root chakra as well too. I posted that video, that guided meditation in the Facebook group, right? Talking about your solar plexus and your root chakra being off, because that's your fear and your power. Your powerhouse, right? Your confidence, right? You're losing it when the fears come up. You lack confidence, right? So when you say the universe has my back, everything's working out for me, you're working on your trust, your root chakra. And so the more you start to do those guided meditations to really clear that and ground yourself, the more you feel safe, the more you feel protected, the more you're going to trust the process. Okay, so that the guided meditations are also one of the biggest things that have helped me through all this. I really wish, and I'm posting them for you. I really hope that you guys are taking advantage of these. Now I understand you may not like to meditate, but eventually it's going to impress in your subconscious mind. Even if you do those affirmation ones, you know, you have the earphones on, it's going to impress in there. It's going to it's going to work. It's going to work. And then at some point, if you start affirming that you love to meditate, you will eventually enjoy to meditate. Okay, we can manifest that too as well. There's nothing you cannot manifest. Okay, but what I wanted you to know is one of my affirmations is remind yourself that you never give up. You do not have a give up bone in your body, and that is one of something I've always said. I do not own a give up bone. I do not own a give-up bone. I just made that one up. But I do not have a give-up bone in my body, all right? Which means that I'm going to persist no matter what. So that dominant thought of mine, even when I'm down and out and I feel like nothing's working, my dominant thought in the back of my head, I feel protected because I'm crying it out, but I know that I never give up. You see what I'm saying? So that dominant thought that knows that I'm going to get over this is holding me back. It's holding me up. So even though I feel like my life's spiraling out of control and I'm losing it, I'm not affirming, I'm not doing anything, I have this dominant thought that says, go ahead, Frankie, you know, get it out. Self-pity, here's a little baby violin. Go ahead, do it, do it, do it. Because my higher self is over here going, you never give up. You never give up. You're going to get over this. Boom. And you're just going to go right ahead. So it's easier for me to get over the little tantrum I just pulled. Okay? Because I know that I'm never going to stop until I get what I want. I am never going to stop until I get what I want. So that is something else that I do. I also sometimes this can get, I have a tendency to overdo stuff sometimes, believe it or not. But I will research, read, look for inspiration. I'm on YouTube. I have so many guides. I call them guides on YouTube. Brian Scott's one of my favorites. You know, Christina Lopes. I love her. Aaron Dowdy. I apologize, Aaron, for that. I've been following him for years too. I mean, there's so many more than that. But I listen to them. Joe Dispenza. I listen to these people, Abraham Hicks even, because she does the law of attraction and she adds them both. But I listen so I can reaffirm and learn. But sometimes I'll take on too much and I'll just be like, okay, this is overload. Stop. Go for a walk. Sometimes you just have to do nothing. Okay? So in my case, if I go too far, I have to just completely stop and do nothing. Go watch 2.5 Men with my dad. Okay, he loves it. He watches every rerun of that show, and it's the funniest show. I've seen every episode, and every episode still makes me laugh. Okay, so those are some of my ideas for you. Okay, so I think that's all I had. Just look for inspiration. And I also, that high vibe challenge that I know a lot of you are there hitting. I can see that you're there. You might not be doing anything, you know, the ideas that I gave, but at least that it's impressing in your subconscious, and it's going to start to make you feel guilty if you keep seeing it and you're not participating. Because doing something every day to raise your vibe, like even this being outside for me and feeling the wind and being in nature is refreshing me. It's giving me such this pure energy, and it's allowing me to relax. Okay, so that's raising my vibe. All right, just even if you can, you know, doing this, raising your vibe. And I'm going to keep doing those challenges as well too in my Facebook group. Again, for YouTube, I will be starting another challenge in about a week. We'll be finishing this first one, but they're ongoing. Every 4 weeks, we'll be starting up again. And during those 4 weeks, we do challenges in every week. We do different challenges, but I also add a high vibe challenge so that you can every day have something to do and work towards manifesting. Okay, so hopefully you do check out my my Facebook group. I'll leave the link down below. Hopefully you find this video helpful. I know that I put a lot in one because I am live on Facebook and I'm about to answer some questions with them. So I'm going to say peace, and I hope you enjoy the video. Like and subscribe, and take care.